Hello, everybody. You're listening to episode 14 of the A Strings podcast.
Welcome to episode 14. This week, we have somebody in the room.
He's a very good friend of ours, Mr. Matt Longbottom.
Good evening.
Are we allowed to call you the sales manager of Korg?
I guess you can now.
He's newly appointed sales manager of Korg.
Field sales. To be correct. Field.
So you do Korg, Vox, Takamine.
Vox and Takamine.
So you're just spearheading those two, is it?
Personally, but then looking after my colleagues on the road. With Mirpex and Korg and Takamine and Vox and everything.
And everything, wow.
There are six of us in total.
All equals in your eyes.
All equals.
Some more equal than others.
Uncle Paul, Uncle Jerry, Andy Pullen, Jan DeBreezy, name checking everybody. Adam Whittle.
It's right, the acceptance speech music will start playing now. You'll have to wrap it up.
I'd like to thank my... Never mind.
So Tom is sat a little bit further away from us, back on the desk.
So Tom's back on the desk. Tom is hoping that he can be our kind of man in the field, and if we need any information pulled from the great beyond the internet, he'll be there ready to give us some tidbits of information. Isn't that right, Tom?
Yes.
And that's all you hear from Tom for today.
Proof he's in the room. This is the news. So what's gone on this week?
We announced our Black Star event.
Yeah, let's talk about Black Star.
Yes. You okay, Matt?
No, do you know what, though? He brings in fantastic biscuits, Steve.
Yeah, I think he's up there. We...
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't bring anything.
Did he buy those? If not, get your hands off.
We'll save this argument for
we'll save
news.
this till later on. Maybe I think he's as a rose. I think he's winding us up. I think he's got
I've got nothing.
Amazing selection.
I can see Sainsbury's from here. Do you want me to go? Other supermarkets are available.
The funny thing was, we had Andy from Marshall in this week.
Oh, and they were cracking.
And yeah, he brought in those amazing...
Oh, no, the treats, weren't they? Like Rice Krispie kind of...
Cubes, yeah, which were like crack.
He never comes empty-handed, does he?
No.
Ever.
But he asked the question, who is kind of the top biscuit bringer?
Yeah.
And at the moment, it is Steve.
Steve, yeah, he brought it.
So there was that Marshall Black Star. The rivalry's already there.
Anyway,
But they kind of fueled the fire even more.
Like I say, we'll talk about this later on.
Andy wants to be on top.
My official visit is tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Just
that is
out there.
That is true.
You might need to edit this later.
Listeners will find out next week.
Yeah.
Whether you get
Just so.
anything.
What about cold curry? Yeah.
So we got Jared James Nichols, Black Star endorsee or endorser. No, he's the endorser.
Yes.
No, he's the endorsee because Black Star endorses him. Was it the other way around?
Endorsee, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Black Star and Epiphone, which is his guitar of choice, obviously.
And yeah, he's kind of massive on social media and stuff, isn't he? So
he plays with Bernie Marsden. He's just come off tour with John 5. Mates in commas with
robot from Short Circuit.
Mates with Bonamassa. Those kind of circles.
No, Steve Gutenberg. So, so it's the 31st of May on a Friday evening.
Yep. Tickets are available through the website and in the shop.
Yeah, and seating will be on a first come first served basis, but there will be a bit more seating than there have been.
We've organised seating, haven't we?
Yeah,
because a few events where we've had sort of max capacity.
Yeah,
it's been people have had to sit on the floor, which the more limber of our customers can.
Yeah,
some can't, but we try our best to provide stools and chairs and seats and plinths.
Something to look forward to. We'll be broadcasting it on YouTube and Facebook.
Yes, so there's plans to
multi-channel just in case we get wiped out of one again.
Yeah,
limited our
spread your eggs.
Yeah. So,
ladies,
there's a few tickets remaining. So if you want to come along, act now.
Yeah. Don't forget, if you're paying through the website, don't pay for shipping. They're not real things that exist. We've already had people pay for shipping after we've said don't pay for shipping. there won't be anything posted to you. We could just post you an empty envelope of A.
It's our first event of the year. And usually
It
by
is.
this point, we've had about 3 or 4. And we, usually February we got something. We've had April, we've had, historically the last few years, we had Roland, we had Marshall. So, yeah, it's quite late in the year for us to be putting on our first event. But
we spent the first part in a boxing match, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we were a little
Crying.
bit preoccupied.
Yeah.
Whimpering in the corner.
With regards to the events, it's always nice. It's nice doing them after the event. The stress is beforehand. Trying to get the numbers and setting up, kind of breaking down the shop on the day, trying to put it back together the day after. I think it's going to be easier this time around because of the way that we've redesigned the front room.
Yeah.
Apart from the keyboards, the
stuff is easy to move. Yeah. Yeah.
In talk of like shop decorations and stuff, I was in touch with Pete Maldron today,
Nice.
and
So for those that don't know, Pete is
Brian May's Guitar Tech,
awesome.
and it looks like hopefully we're going to be getting a decommissioned flight case
Submarine.
that used to be kind of carry. Basically, it's called a guitar trunk. So, like, it used to carry a lot of guitars.
Okay.
So, yeah, can we get one of those for the shop?
And it's got all the sort of Queen bits and pieces
Hopefully.
sprayed on it. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, unless they nicked it from Bon Jovi or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be something nice to
Yeah.
have in the shop.
Speaking of events, did you enjoy the Makoto visit?
Yes,
It's up there
Yeah.
in our list
Yeah.
of events.
it was really good. It was a little bit stressful to begin with, but once it got, are we talking about Takamine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should
both,
say, yeah.
both your eyebrows went down at the same time, as if to say, "What's he talking about?" So yeah, as long as
Yeah.
no, it was brilliant. Like it was, everyone was here, and then you arrived.
I only asked because potentially September.
Really,
Again,
amazing.
off the back of London Guitar Show.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, it was brilliant. And it was one of those events that people still talk about now.
Yeah.
And I
Is
was
that because he invited your whole customer base to Japan?
To Japan. Yeah, people keep asking.
yeah, yeah,
Free flight.
yeah. And learned about Mount Takamine
Yeah.
and sales focus for the next
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of internal information. That
The
was,
5 things to remember when talking to your customers, like, they're all here, shut up.
yeah.
No, it was really, really good. Honestly, it was people from experience. People like to talk and engage with the people
The
kind
people,
of thing.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why we always enjoy, not just the the focus kind of events, but when like the birthday kind of nights and the anniversary ones. In as much as when you've just got people like yourself, guys from Fender and JHS and all these and PRS people who are just kind of milling around. They want to talk to you about the things that they've got, and they almost want to. Yeah, they want to kind of share their knowledge, but they want a few tidbits from yourselves so they can go to the pub and talk to their mates then and say,
Yeah.
I was talking to the guy from Vox and this is happening, that's happening kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's and so when you see a couple of guys, from the factory in Japan and he's there setting up guitars and all the rest of it.
In the middle of South Wales.
Yeah, it's a big
Is he the head luthier? Is that what he is?
Makoto is the main man. He's got about 5 different job titles.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So-
So, yeah, to have him
So, yeah.
here.
So
brilliant.
one of the great things that we said about this visit was that Makoto would set up your Takamine. Unfortunately, somebody
Brought a Tanglewood.
brought a Tanglewood. And he looked at this, he said, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
In the most respectful Japanese
Very
way.
respectful.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah. No, they're lovely, lovely guys. He brought some green tea Kit Kats over, I believe.
Matcha green tea Kit Kats,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Assume they've all gone now.
they were.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Big
they were,
class that I brought those. Yeah.
they were
Yeah,
amazing.
no,
What,
no.
the digestives?
No, not those.
Oh,
sorry.
from
technically,
before.
I brought Makoto, so technically, I brought those biscuits.
Yeah.
as
Yeah, but
well.
when was that? A year last November?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
There's a video up. I sent it to Tom earlier. I don't know if you saw it as well.
I saw it come through. I haven't watched it yet. Tom's watched it.
Carrier Drums, that's a drum shop, independent drum shop based in Bridgend, put up a really kind of interesting video on reasons why he isn't selling through eBay anymore.
Okay.
And, you know, it touched on, but in greater kind of specifics, things that we've talked about in the past with regards to, you know, margins are so tight with gear. You've got to be very careful with regards to, you know, there's a very fine line between running a business and actually just kind of out and out making a loss,
giving your stuff away. Yeah.
And, you know, eBay, along with Amazon, are one of those prime kind of examples whereby you've really, really got to do your maths, because if you put something up on eBay and you're matching a standard street price, you know, there's no price dictation. You know, there's, you know, everyone sets their own price, but, you know, it gets to a point whereby it's just not worth selling a product under a certain price. Otherwise, you're not running a business. You're doing it for, you know, you're just giving things away. So you might find that there's like a harmonized kind of price point for a set of Ernie ball strings, a set of super slinkies, or whatever. Online, you're going to find them the same $5.99 everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth selling them any cheaper than that. Now, you put them on at $5.99 on eBay, and all of a sudden, you know, there's a whole different equation you need to kind of consider. You know,
So
it's not just your percentage of, you know, how much it's cost you card machine wise and postage and VAT and all that kind of thing. eBay will take you 12%, and then PayPal will take an extra 3.5%. And that's on top of the overall price, not the minus VAT price or anything like that. So basically, it's worth watching. We'll put a link up somewhere with regard to this video. He goes on a little bit. He's a little bit of an eccentric character, and but if you can kind of if you got the patience to kind of listen for the 11-minute video, he gives an example of maybe £1,000 drum kit that may be bought, you know, at £650, which is actually a very healthy margin in this industry. But he understands, he explains with VAT and with commissions and all this kind of thing, how actually, you know, on a sale like that, you're earning, did it come down to something like £12?
£12, yeah.
£12, you know, and then, you know, if you've got a follow up with, you know, I received the drum kit and there's no drum keys with it. You got to send out a drum key with, you know, £2 postage or, you know, plus the time and the pack, you know, the administration kind of time and all that kind of thing. It's just absolutely not worth it. So he stopped dealing on eBay. We actually stopped dealing on eBay about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while we've been off.
But Amazon, you know, is exactly the same. As Amazon's kind of worse because we're all just, you know, Amazon are just using our sales as kind of data, you know, for, you know, their own means kind of thing. So that's kind of even worse. But yeah, it's an interesting video. I think we should maybe put a link up for people to look at. So on Saturday, I don't know if you heard this, we were talking to that lovely lady who's coming, Christina, who's coming. She's interested in the Guild.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to see a Fleetwood Mac tribute act on Monday night. She said, Rumours. I said, no, legit. And just kind of went over her head, yeah. But no, I don't think it went over her head. She just wasn't impressed with the joke. But she said, oh, you know, watch out for the Stevie Nicks. She's absolutely brilliant. And fair play, you know, they were a brilliant, brilliant band.
Where was the gig?
St. David's Hall. I was right up in the gods.
Were you?
Yeah. So the sound wasn't fantastic, but they did, you know, they did kind of every era, and it was very good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I think when you're up there, you lose a bit of energy, you know, because by the time the sound gets up there, it's a little bit. But I was, you know, I don't know if you're the same when you go to look. I don't go to see many tribute bands, but when I do look at the gear, and I'm interested to see whether they're kind of taking on the same kind of not just look-alikes and not just sound-alikes, but if they're going to replicate the gear. And to an extent they did. Like they had what's the make of Lindsey Buckingham's kind of custom-built guitar?
Is it a Framus?
No.
not
It's
fancy.
it's a hand built job of a guy in the States, and he's
Right.
got some like a dozen of them in different tunings.
Well, this was the thing, and his rig is really awkward to kind of replicate.
Well,
isn't it?
so this guy, he was using Les Pauls for like Rumours era kind of stuff, which is what he was using back then. He used a Taylor like Grand Auditorium that I've seen Lindsey Buckingham use, and he had one of these kind of custom built.
Oh wow!
Ones, and they're expensive. I think they're something like $10,000, a piece. They're really expensive, but it was going into. It looked like it was some like XFX or Fractal kind of
was it?
thing. So he didn't have the amps behind him. Yeah, but they did a bit of kind of Peter Green stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
In fact, there was another guitarist there who was doing majority of the lead kind of work, and he was kind of the better guitarist of the two, really.
Yeah.
And he had. I couldn't make out exactly what his Les Paul was. It could have been a vintage kind of Peter Green, lemon drop or whatever, but it had that out of phase sound.
Right.
It was really, really beautiful. But apart from that, I didn't really notice that much of the gear was kind of, typically kind of
Fleetwood
Mac. Like if I've been to see a Queen tribute band, first thing you look at is he using a red special? And nowadays,
Vox. Is he using Vox?
Is he exactly? Well, we went to see Queen Extravaganza, didn't we? In
Yes, we did.
St David's Hall, about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
It was
would have
around
been.
about October, November, wasn't it?
Do you know what? It wasn't long because me and Tom didn't know each other too well.
Okay, wow.
So it was a little bit longer ago then, yeah.
So, I remember not being massively impressed with the guitarist. He was using like the standard BMG issue red special, wasn't he?
That's right.
But there wasn't a Vox on stage, was there? He was going into some.
I think there was some sort of modeler or
and
Kemper or that type of job.
And I think that if their lighting show was amazing,
Yeah,
and the visuals and all that kind of thing. So if you're going to go that far, I think it's important to kind of replicate the gear used as well, especially when it's as iconic as Red Special going into an AC30 kind of thing.
yeah, and not to be bitches around the table, but of that show, he was the weak link, wasn't he? We were talking about it before.
Yeah, he completely cracked up the Bohemian Rhapsody solo, didn't he?
If
there's one bit,
there's one
if there's
solo
one
to
thing you
get
can
right.
do, don't do that. I don't think that it's just us that kind of obsessed about it, because Alid, who comes into the shop, Alid taught you. He's your teacher, wasn't he?
He did.
So Alid is Mark Knopfler in the UK's leading Dire Straits tribute act, and he was saying that so he's got like a red Strat, he's got like a national Dobro, is it?
He's got the Dobro. Yeah,
He's got obviously a really nice Les Paul. And you'll use the appropriate guitar for the appropriate song in the appropriate era kind of thing.
exactly. Yeah,
And, he's been in, over the last year or so, we've had conversations whereby he said, do you know what, I need to up my game with regards to the guitar. I'm looking for a red Strat with a rosewood neck 60s. Can you get something in? And he said about is it the 2x12 or the 4x12 Fender cab as well? Because that's what Knopfler used.
Yeah,
back in the day.
that's
So
right.
He's chasing not just the sound, but an aesthetic as well, on stage, because he said that people will be coming up to the stage before the gig and after the gig, taking pictures of the rig, the pedal board, and all the rest of it. It's an added element of the enjoyment of a show when you're going to see a.
Seeing how closely they're
So
recreating.
so Matt's a drummer, and so when I don't know if you've, you're a jazz drummer, aren't you, predominantly?
Yeah, jazz funk. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Have you got any kind of heroes that might be depicted within a tribute act kind of?
There's obviously Phil Collins. All left-handed drummers must obey the Phil Collins. Well, not necessarily the concert toms. He doesn't have skins on the bottom.
Right.
It looks awful in my opinion. But some people do go for the full-on Gretsch.
Well, I was going to say, so have you been to see like a Genesis tribute act or anything like that?
No.
No, you haven't. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I've been to see loads of drummers do clinics.
Right.
Not Phil, obviously, because he can't drum anymore.
No.
But I've been to see loads of drummers. Maybe drummers from bands like David Garibaldi from Tower of Power.
Right.
But again, on his own. Not with the band.
So the actual people then.
The actual people rather than the tributes. And I would like to, obviously, I mean, my 5-year-old would love to go and see David Bowie. That's going to have to be a tribute act, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So I will be going at some point.
Yeah.
In the near future. She's already, at the age of 4, done Nico McBrain.
Oh, Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Took my 4-year-old to see Iron Maiden. So obviously after that, I said, who else do you want to go see? Bob Marley. Can't do that one.
Great.
Another tribute potential. And obviously David Bowie. So the next
when
two.
you go to these things, is it something that we obsess over with regards to...
I still think you would, wouldn't you? You've done research beforehand on the drummer and you want to see what they're using to try and get that same effect. Like, I've played in function bands doing Police covers before. So knowing how Copeland does it, obviously it's all multi-tracked beforehand, so there's never a cat and house chance of recreating it live at a gig. But you want to see how someone's going to attempt it, don't you?
Yeah. The only thing that we'd be able to identify from that is a bit of tape on the snare drum.
Yeah.
Seeing what he thinks Sting is. But if Clapton... You got to see a Clapton tribute, and I don't know if there are any Clapton tributes, but you'd expect he's going to play...
Sit on a chair in the middle of a large stage and not move. Yeah. Sorry, that was the real man at the Albert Hall at a Fender gig.
Really?
Yeah. Took some customers to see him, and he didn't move a lot at the Albert Hall. Speaking of which, I was due to go and see Ryan Adams last month with name check, James Berryman. He and I had tickets to Stand in the Gods.
Do you know, James Berryman didn't bring us anything when he visited either, so
you're in good company. We're in a par.
Yeah.
Hear that, James, while you're stuck on the motorway somewhere listening? And obviously the gig got cancelled. But we don't know why.
Summer 69. We had a copyright notice through from YouTube today, but not in the way that you might suspect. So we weren't in breach of copyright. Somebody has nicked our video and has put it on their own channel.
Really?
Which is quite interesting. I'm in two minds as to whether to let it run. Because looking on the channel, they've nicked videos from PMT and from loads of other people. If he's just putting together a channel of stuff that he likes, and one of our videos is something that he likes, that's fine.
Yeah.
If he's just trying to monetize the channel and get as many he's looking, because the video he's chosen is one that we put up about 10 years ago.
Yeah, and it's over 250,000.
And you're not in it.
I'm not in it. Well, no.
Of all the videos, of 135 videos we got.
Because I was fresh from school at that
I need to find one without Adam in.
Yeah, you got to search really long and hard to find one without Adam. But he's found it.
He's found it.
And yes, the one with Paul from up north. And
Don't hold that against him. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
He talks like this about the Zoom A3.
Oh, we'll get into that in a minute.
No.
And yeah, so it's how many views have we had in that video?
259,000.
So I think this guy's looked at it and seen it as just our best performed video.
Yeah.
Historically, which of course is going to be because the longest one up.
I think you have to hit certain criteria to monetize as well, don't you? So you have to have certain view times. And
you've got to have a certain amount of videos as well. So.
Yeah, so he's nowhere near.
Around, surely? No.
Well, yeah, you'd think.
So how should we proceed? Should we say, well, get your own content, or should we just kind of let it be?
Does it help you if it's on there?
No, he has.
The only way he lets
put
it
us
be
in the comments. He said it's a video from us, but he hasn't put our channel. He's just put astrings.co.uk.
He's not trying to pass it off as his own.
No, he has said that it's a video from us.
Yeah,
but
ask nice.
It matters not really.
No.
What I wouldn't want is for somebody to click his video instead of ours.
We'll keep an eye, and if he starts putting other videos from us up, I think we should then. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you can't just take other people's content
No.
that we actually, we work to do.
Do you feel violated?
I don't.
No, of course.
But
you're
when
not
one
in
of
the
my
video.
videos
No,
goes
sorry,
up.
yeah. Marcus from Germany. One of
Our
our mates, the
friend
guy who brought us
Marcus.
the chocolate salami.
Yes.
Oh, the Portuguese chocolate salami.
Is that better than Matcha Kit Kat? Or different? It's just different, isn't it? Yeah.
No,
Difference the word.
It was better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
So he's a mate of ours who comes over to visit now and again, and he's managed to get hold of one of the Harley Benton Red Special copies. Well, I
Yes.
wouldn't say it's a copy. It's an approximation of a Red Special in as much as it's red with a black pick guard. It's got 3 pickups that look like Trisonics. And it's got a weird switching system that doesn't mimic the Red Special, but it obviously does something. We've had it here for about a week and a half now. I haven't plugged it in. But Marcus is coming tomorrow
Oh, okay.
for payment. No, and no, he's coming in tomorrow just to have a cuppa and say hi. So
Yeah.
it's the bit we've all been waiting for. Time for you to pull out the surprises, Matt. Right. So not only has he brought anything, but he's crunched up all the biscuits that were in
It's just a gentle rustle, just a fondle. There we go. Should we get a tummy?
Oh yeah, help yourself, Matt. Yeah, go for it, mate.
So not only has he
Yeah.
just
there we go.
not brought anything with no regret or remorse.
None, because my official visit is in the morning.
Oh, that's true. He's dived in and Tom. He's dived in
Tom.
and helped himself to Geraint's Tanax tea
Right,
cakes.
so Geraint, wonderful, wonderful guys. Brightens up a Saturday when he comes in. He works down in Swindon. No, not Swindon.
Someone have to.
Salisbury.
Salisbury.
Nice.
In the same hospital as the same hospital that treated the
The
Novichok victims.
Novichok.
Novichok.
Nice.
Yeah. So, he's from up the valleys way, and whenever he comes in with a box of Tonics tea cakes. My old man will be absolutely devastated that these have come in and gone.
Nope, he's good because he came in yesterday to pick up Sonny, and he.
So he's had one.
Yeah, I think. He's definitely taken one.
He puts it
Which
all
he
in-
should.
He puts it all in his mouth at the same time. Oh, actually,
Matt is
yeah.
sitting there with his head
So,
back like
yeah,
a seagull.
Don't worry about. See, I'm. Yeah. So, not only hasn't he contributed any biscuits to Biscuit News, but he's not contributed anything to the actual conversation either because he's got a mouthful of
It's just deep throated a Tonics.
Yeah. So Geraint comes in and he helps us, get through a Saturday. Really,
Yeah.
he's sometimes we'll see him like 2-3 times a month. Then we won't see him for 6 months, but he'll always bring something in, and he's just one of the nicest kind of guys ever. Should we give him the story about the eye?
Yeah.
Right, so Geraint, we were talking, he's always really complimentary about the shop. And so he says, do you know what? I come into the shop and that string wall is a sight to behold. And I said, oh, it's nice of you to say. He said, no, honestly, the way you got it laid out and everything, it's just like a wall of colour and it looks amazing. He said, because obviously I see it from this eye, but I don't see it from that eye. And if we're honest, we have maybe noticed, we've wondered what eye to kind of look at because one does...
You don't want to offend someone.
No, it's like with Adam. Which one do you look at? They're so far apart. there's a good the 4 cm gap between these eyes. So which one do you look at? That one or that one? Not quite as bad as that with Geraint because his eyes aren't that far apart.
That was so Alan Partridge.
But we kind of said, "Oh, what? Is there something wrong with your eye?" Then just kind of approach it. Kind of,
What do you mean?
yeah, yeah, like the winged thing. And he said, yeah. He said, I can't see anything from this eye. I said, oh right, just born lucky. He said, no. He said, funny story. This.
Just as a precursor, this is the best reaction I've ever seen Andrew have in the shop with anything ever.
He said, So I was about 3 years old, and I was playing with darts like you do. I thought, oh no. And he said, so I threw this dart up in the air. I looked up, and it landed in his eye. Right, landed in his eye.
And he said he went
sick?
into the house, didn't he? And he was like, kind of like,
Yeah. And so he ran into the kitchen to his mother to say, I got a dart in my eye. And the dart was, oh, God. So I was,
He's so lucky it didn't go right through. Into his brain.
it's not worth thinking about, Matt.
Because that's a good long.
So, he told us about this, and I think, he's laughing at the reaction, because I can't handle anything like that.
Did you faint?
May as well.
Adam just went quiet. He just kind of looked into the distance, went quiet, and just slowly walked out to the back room. Whereas I was just kind of didn't know where to put my arms or like. Anyway, so that's Geraint, and he brought us in some tonic seekers.
Poor Geraint.
Thank you very much, Geraint. You're an absolute gem, and I've still got mine, so you can talk now for the rest. So
I enjoyed mine. Thanks, Geraint.
So what else we got?
so
It's all self-bought things, isn't it?
yeah. So we've got
You'll notice we reached our peak run by episode 5, I think.
This is just what's left over
Yeah.
from episode 6.
Well, so the Sainsbury's Taste of Difference white chocolate and raspberry cookies we've had before, but these were kindly brought in by Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And these are the best ones that Sainsbury's do. These are the most amazing cookies. Help yourself.
Do they compare with Subway oatmeal and raisin?
We'll test
Let's
one and
try
find
it,
out.
shall we?
So Matt's going to try one of them. These
had one of those on
digestives.
the way here. Sorry, boys.
These digestives. Hang on, what? So you've been to Subway. You had cookies from Subway.
Just one.
You knew about the podcast.
I forgot about the biscuit.
Well, actually, I mentioned Biscuit News yesterday, but he's never listened to the podcast before, so he didn't know what to expect, which is ignorance an excuse? I don't know. I'll leave it for you to decide. But we've never, of all the biscuits we've had, we've never had a McVitie's digestive.
So these were actually gifted to us.
By whom?
They were gifted by a lady, not a regular. She came in and she needed a wireless headset, Madonna style.
Yeah.
And she's a line dancing instructor. She's a
Oh,
line dancing
yeah.
instructor.
I was talking to her, wasn't I?
Hers was just knackered. The wire was knackered. So we got one in next day, AVSL for her. And she came in and picked it up. Bear in mind, it's only it's a £15.
Did she square
headset.
step to the till?
Yep, kickball chain. Came in with a pack of chocolate digestives and a massive jar of coffee.
Did she know about
and
Biscuit
paid
News?
for the
Did
product?
she know about Biscuit News?
No, I don't think so. Just a random thank you.
Maybe it's the maybe all the spots that we're breaking out in because of the excess sugar and fat content that we're
God,
taking in
I
on a
know.
daily basis. Just it's telling people that we like our biscuits.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a vitamin consumed between us, I don't think.
No,
Stay hydrated, guys.
I had a bag of chips for lunch today as well. A little bit hungover. Matt, welcome to the A-Strings podcast.
Thank you.
It's lovely to have you here.
Lovely to be here.
Question on everyone's lips. Is it Takamine, or Takamine?
Takamine.
Takamine.
If you're in Ireland, it's Takamine.
Takamine.
But the
Taka
rest,
yours.
the rest of the world is Takamine. And obviously for the 3/4 size travel guitar, we couldn't resist. Takamine.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
I always have and will continue to call it Takamine.
I just don't correct anyone anymore. It's just not worth it.
As well as looking after you guys on the road, your focus is kind of Vox, Takamine, guitar products
Guitar products.
for the south.
Yes. So Derby, Nottingham and below.
Yeah. What are you busiest with at the moment? Like Vox or Takamine?
It's probably 50-50 at the moment.
Is it?
It does vary between the two. Backline can go through periods of being, especially busy, and then
Is that down to like artist trends, or do you
Maybe.
think that it's
We never really
just
know.
a really because you can't predict what a bass season's going to be,
No.
or what an acoustic, like I say, backline. Like we can go ages not selling something like an AC30, then all of a sudden, we get a demand for it.
It
Or-
may,
Yeah.
it may be off the back of something as random as Bohemian Rhapsody covered in Vox, but how can we quantify how many sales we've
Yeah.
managed to gain off the back of that?
Mm.
And it wasn't anything that we directly sort of, engineered. It was just happening, and we did a bit of a Brian May promo off the
Promotion,
back
I
of it,
saw
didn't
that,
we?
yeah.
Yeah, giveaway of a signed amp. But
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But really,
Has someone won that?
yes, yeah, I do believe so. Things like that will help.
Yeah.
But we can never say for sure how much of an effect it's had.
Well, I'm a Mad Vox kind of fan. And Adam's using the AC30 now, aren't he?
I am
Well done, Adam.
back on an AC30.
Yeah. That's right, because you had a
C2
greenback.
or
right?
S1?
I had a green. I had a greenback first, and then that went, and had the opportunity to get a blue for a bargain.
Ooh.
And I use it every day. I think pretty much. If I get the chance, I will. I'm playing.
I'm using the MV50 at home because it's just kind of amazing. Is that your biggest product at the moment, in Vox, or no? So what's your biggest sound product in Vox?
Still the AC15.
Really?
AC10
Wow.
and AC15 all day long.
Wow.
So speaker wise, with the 10 and 15, is it only the 30 you get the option of the greens
No,
and blues?
You get the option on the 15 and
15.
the 30.
So you can have a blue 15.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You can have a
You can have a 2x12.
You can have a 212. You can have a C2 on the 15.
Marshall, who are your neighbours in Milton Keynes as well.
Andy Hornby.
Yeah. And
Biscuit.
they used to make good biscuits, Andy Hornsby. Marshall used to make the Vox made amps during the 90s, didn't they?
It is claimed so.
Yeah. Given how busy Marshall, British made Marshalls are now, they've just taken on a stack of new people because demand for British made amps is kind of just surging worldwide, especially out in the Far East. Any plans for Vox to maybe start some production in the UK?
So you had the 60th anniversary models
Which
of the 15 and the 30 that were made here, and you've got
we got both
available. Check the website now.
They're absolutely amazing. They're a small fortune,
Yes.
especially when, and I'm talking objectively, I think that these amplifiers that we got in are absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not saying that just because you're here. I think that they really are a better example than you can buy vintage. You can.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you can buy, because we're in the UK, you can buy a vintage JMI 1960s AC30 for cheaper than you can buy one of these newer ones.
That is the argument, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
So,
So which do you go for?
yeah, well, my argument would be going for a new one, you get in, you look at the circuitry in the back of this, the way it's wired up and everything, it's a bit of art.
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
It really is gorgeous. But, you're buying, a 60s spec AC30, for all intents and purposes, better than anything would have come off the production line back then because of QC and all the rest of it that we got now. But you've still got a lifetime ahead of it. It's a brand new amp. So I'd say that is a better choice to go for than an older AC30. But it's got to be acknowledged that there is definitely a demand for a more competitively priced British AC30.
So, yeah, to answer your earlier question, I think there's been a suggestion that at some point, because obviously Marshall offer it, it should be the case that we that we can too. Sorry.
Yeah.
But how far away that would be, I have no idea. It could be a couple of years away. It could be 10, 15 or never. I don't know. But it would be great to be able to offer that
Yeah, definitely.
and keep on a par.
It's the MV50 is the future, isn't it? With how everything's in balance with regards to what materials are used. With just the production of valves and all that kind of thing. 'Cause I remember the event back in September. I think in the presentation for the MV50,
Yes.
you had one of the tech guys get up.
And explain,
Yeah, and he was saying that it's quite feasible to predict that a valve is going to be a rarity in 10, 15 years time. It's just it's defunct technology. You don't need these in the military that like you did 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, they're definitely getting fewer and fewer, and the manufacturing process isn't that clean. I don't think either. So you have to look to like China or the Czech Republic, I think, wasn't it, to actually get hold of them.
And it's not worth anybody kind of ethical to
No.
even look into building up an operation to build valves. So I guess the temptation is to develop, the routes that the MV50 and the MV150 and follow that thing. But Vox is something that is, as a brand, and we wouldn't want it any other way, but it is kind of synonymous and stuck in, the
You've got two sides,
1961 to 1966 kind of.
You've got the traditional side, and the R&D guys in the UK generally look after that, and that's traditional valve gear. And then the Japanese guys from Korg obviously look after the sort of pushing the boundaries, futuristic kind of, the Adios and the MV50s and the new tube side of things. Because those valves have, we do call them valves, they have up to 30,000 playing hours, which you're not going to get from a traditional.
No, which is phenomenal. I don't know how many years worth of, I know
Adam will do that in 2 evenings. But, squeeze 30,000 hours into.
But if you play guitar for an hour a night, it's still a phenomenal kind of lifetime
Lifespan,
of of an amplifier. Is there anything new on the horizon that you might not be able to kind of tell us?
I'm not sure what I can and can't say.
No.
There isn't a great deal for the rest of this year that I know of coming, but just a couple of upgrades to the existing SE range.
All right, okay.
That have been told of potentially happening, maybe.
You hear it here first.
Attenuators
Really?
being introduced to the combos.
Brilliant.
You might need to edit this out.
Matt was in his new position for just 4 days when he got
5 days before he got sacked for spilling the beans on the rest of the year.
No, because they put attenuators on the heads.
Yes.
Which a brilliant idea. So
it should have always been the case on the rest of the range.
Yeah,
So that's
because-
something apparently they're going to look at later in the year.
because master volume, you get the warmth of the power valves from that. So you want to be able to turn up the master volume.
And then just bring it down a few steps.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be good. So that's Vox, I guess. So Takamine, there was. So we started doing some of the nice
Some of the very
collection
nice
series.
collector series, yes, you have.
Yeah, which absolutely love.
Yeah.
They released some thin lines, didn't they?
Yeah,
this year? How are they going?
they haven't arrived yet. So
Oh, right,
launched at NAM in January and due into stock July, August. It is a range that has been done before. It was actually before my time because obviously before Korg, Takamine was distributed by Fender when I was working there. While at Fender, but before my time with them, it was a range that was brought out previously and did very well. So it's been reintroduced for that reason.
It's interesting because I completely got it wrong about the Acoustasonics, the new range of Fender guitars. Thinking, acoustic players are going to want an acoustic guitar. And they're not interested in anything that's
A
different.
hybrid of any description. Yeah.
And so, given the popularity of the Acoustasonics, I wonder what kind of appetite there is for the thin lines.
So we've got a few different models. You've got the standard range, then you've got a Koa, and do you remember the Decoy? We had the other year, the turquoisey sort of finish.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Sort of a blue burst. We've got that as well in an arch top, arch back. And then you've got the 2019 limited edition is also in the thin line range.
Is it?
All are coming with this new sort of gig bag. So the lower end of the Pro range is going to switch to this gig bag as well as the thin lines. It's like a semi-rigid foam case. Looks really nice, actually.
Like the are they the self-humidifying ones, like the
like the trick cases.
yeah,
I haven't seen those, so I'm not sure. But
It's almost like a polystyrene
I think,
kind of
yeah.
I think that might be it, yeah.
material.
Yes, like temperature regulating or something.
Yeah, we got a glimpse of them when we went to the factory.
Temperature regulating instrument case.
Wow.
Oof.
There it is.
You heard it here first. So yeah, we got a glimpse of them when we went to the factory last September. But not arriving till July or August.
That was the visit I wasn't invited to, wasn't it?
That was the one that you will be on the next outing.
No biscuits.
Oh, Genghis style.
No invitation to Japan?
Moshi moshi.
No junkets.
Oh, you'll be coming next time, all right? Yes, that trip. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so it was, yeah. And they'll be here July, August, ranging from 12,999 to 2,500 for the limited, yeah.
And so when's Makoto coming over?
September for the London Guitar Show,
Okay, cool.
which is changing venue this year.
Is it Olympia, wasn't it, last year?
It normally is, but that's having a refurb, so it's at some kind of business convention centre in North London, somewhere near King's Cross.
Okay.
I should probably check my facts.
Yeah.
But it's up there. I think a little better suited
Is it?
access anyway, at least for the exhibitors. So it's there, and we're looking to bring Makoto around afterwards.
Nice.
Sweet.
You heard it here first.
I really liked
Yeah.
He had this suitcase that you opened up, and he had every single tool that you would ever need. You know, so organised and just typically, you know, Japanese, you know, with regards to efficiency and tidiness and just neatness, you know, just beautiful. But he had this amazing, I don't know why it was amazing, but he opened it up and it had a
had all the gate
sanding
stickers and things, didn't it?
Yeah,
From
the
the Eagles and everybody inside.
That's
Bon Jovi
right.
and everything, yeah.
Bon
But
Jovi.
he had this sanding block that you turned
miniature
on.
one.
It was on like a miniature. It was had like a motor on it,
Yeah.
and
For the saddles.
yeah,
How he gets that through security.
yeah.
But yeah, it was
Hidden
all
in his
there, wasn't
moustache.
it?
Yeah.
It was all there.
Takamine has actually become, I think, our top selling acoustic.
Yeah, I noticed
this-
not too many G series on the wall. We need
No.
to start there out in the morning
And
when I
you-
bring biscuits.
We've, I don't know. Those,
Think we will succumb to such bribery?
Is that not how it works?
but Takamine really does seem to be the flavour of the month, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you know we've said before when we kind of get a bit of a fire, you know, with us about something, and we get excited about stuff, and we enjoy the products, they tend to start going.
Yeah,
and we
there's-
do the Takamine stuff. You know, is really nice.
Absolutely. You know, it's a strange thing because, you know, when a customer comes in and says, right, I've got X amount to spend on a guitar, you know, you go through the options, and you know there'll be, you know, if you're talking, you know, something about £500, you know, we've got a good kind of dozen options to kind of, you know, at any one time,
Yeah.
with different brands and, you know, different shapes and all that kind of thing to put onto their laps.
Yeah,
And I don't know whether our enthusiasm kind of sells the product or whether it's just a case of, you know, as we're talking, you know, things come in kind of cycles whereby, you know, just this brand really does seem to be kind of pushing all the buttons at the moment. You know, it's
Yeah.
The thing with Takamines is that they don't look like anything else out there. You know, like a dreadnought is a dreadnought is a dreadnought kind of thing. But when you come to things like the ones that sell for us are things like the GN51s and 75s and the 93s and 90s. First of all, they look beautiful. You know, they are bits of furniture. So if a partner is coming along as well, you know, while someone's, you know, trying the guitar, if they like the look of it, sometimes that can
That
be
helps. If it's going to sit on the living room wall.
absolutely. If it's
they
going to
need
polish up nicely, and you know, something like the 9 series, you got these beautiful 3-piece backs and stuff. But you know, I've always in my head, because of like the kind of rounded, bubbly kind of look of the guitar,
Yeah.
it looks very Japanese manga kind of style. You know, it's got that
Right.
kind of very kind of. They got a definitive style. You'd be able to
Yeah.
tell the outline of a Takamine, you know, from
Yeah.
you know, whereas
Definitely.
you put down like a triple O kind of style thing, and it could be any one of, you know, a number of other brands that we also do.
Yeah.
So whether the style is just kind of in vogue at the moment, or whether, like I say, it's our enthusiasm for them, I'm not sure. But it's you know, they really do seem to be our kind of, you know, brand of the year so far, I think.
Yeah.
Especially after, you know, those professional collection
I was going to say, they
ones.
generally help, don't they, to show the range off, show where it goes up to.
And so when, you know, the fire is in your belly with regards to something like that,
Yeah.
you know, it just alights the entire brand, doesn't it?
And even, with a lot of people, even if they're just intending to do sort of open mic stuff as basic as an open mic thing, the Takamine stuff, you got split saddles for intonation, probably the best homemade, by that I mean in-house pickup, because that's Takamine's kind of main focus is
the other thing as well
sound.
that I'll pick up on, which I don't know if you can attest to this as well, given that you're representing them under the Fender kind of umbrella as well, but we got them from you when you're at Fender, and then when it moved over to Korg, we got them from yourselves there. The quality control coming from Korg is absolutely phenomenal. Especially for some reason, I don't know why, but the GN75 comes through, and the action, it plays like an electric up and down the neck.
Yeah.
You got these shims in there that you can obviously take out if
Bring it down even lower,
even lower, but they come through superbly set up.
Yeah.
From the 50 series upwards, we don't really do much of the lower series.
no, Takaminis are the only things lower than that we do.
But
Because it's quite a crowded market below that, isn't it?
it is a bit, yeah. But the setups that are coming from the guitars from Korg, because everything is checked over
Yes.
in the factory, isn't it?
It's checked over in the factory. Well, you have some guys from Japan going to the factory every 3 months,
What,
checking
in-
everything over
in the
there,
Far East,
in the Far
right.
East, and then at our place, at the Korg HQ in Milton Keynes,
Yeah.
everything above a 50 series gets checked over.
Yeah. And we're really noticing that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I do recall, with some of the things from Fender. When you think about it, they got their main warehouse in the Netherlands, and that is supplying. Is it Europe, Far East, and Africa, or is it just Europe?
I think it's just Europe.
Just Europe.
Yeah.
But still,
It's
you're
a
talking
big old warehouse for a big old territory.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're not going to get, a delivery coming into there, and they're just not going to have the capacity to be able to check everything over, are they?
No.
So, but I did recall getting some Takamine guitars through where, the action really wasn't what we would deem as
Acceptable. maybe.
acceptable to put onto the shelf.
Yeah.
But you can guarantee, I think, without exception. Sometimes we've had an issue whereby something's been damaged in transit, but without exception, the quality control on the Takamines coming from Korg has been exceptional. Which again, when it plays good out of the box, it's something to sing and dance about to the customer.
That's down to 2 guys, Andy Vickers and Josh Dawes.
Right.
More name checks.
Yes.
In our warehouse, who have basically a tech room, where they bring it all through.
It'd be really nice to visit there, just to
Yeah.
kind of have a chat with them and just to see what they do.
It would be nice. I don't think you're going to get invited.
No.
Seems to be a pattern.
Come and see us. Milton Keynes is much easier to take you to than Japan. Very, very
You've got a
similar
much better chance of
destinations.
visiting us in Milton Keynes than you have.
I think there's a sushi place in Milton Keynes.
Yoke
Yeah,
Sushi.
let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom top five.
Tom's top 5.
Tom's top 5. Yay.
What's your top 5 this week, Tom?
This week's top 5 is songs about famous people.
Oh, okay.
Number 5, Man on the Moon, R.E.M.
The Andy
Kaufman.
Kaufman. Yeah. Have you seen that film?
No.
Really, really good.
Good film. And the documentary about the film is very, very good as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Jim Carrey one, yeah.
Is that the film that sent Jim Carrey mad?
Yeah. Well,
Jim Carrey went mad? Who knew?
Is that slander? Or is slander written down? I don't know.
I think it's only slander if people hear it.
Hey, our listening figures are up this week.
It's like a tree in the woods.
Hi, Jim.
the other interesting thing about the song Man on the Moon is that he put all the yeahs in to try and outdo Kurt Cobain.
Say it again.
The yeahs.
Wow. There's
'Cause,
more
Kurt-
yeahs in it.
Apparently, yeah.
Wow. Wicked.
Number 4, a song for Bob Dylan by David Bowie.
And who's that about?
Robert Zimmerman.
What was the song? When did he write that?
It's on Hunky Dory. So
It's an early one.
Yeah. Sad.
And is it a
75.
nice song for Bob Dylan, or is he criticising him?
No, it's a nice song.
Yeah.
One of the lines is voice like sand and glue. It's quite nice.
Like sand and glue.
Is that a compliment?
Gritty and sticky.
Nice lyric.
The other famous Bowie song is obviously Andy Warhol,
Andy Warhol.
On the same album, yeah.
which Andy Warhol didn't think much of, and it really, really upset Bowie, didn't it? He was gutted.
Moby, have you been listening to him? He's been on the news a lot recently because he's got, I think it's 20 years this year of play.
It is, yeah. It's on the radio a lot.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes, there was something on this morning.
And if I've heard the story about him and David Bowie in a room once, I think I've heard it. It's a bit like me with my stories. It's the same story over and over again.
Number 3, How Do You Sleep, John Lennon.
Who's
About
that?
Paul McCartney.
Oh,
You know, heard?
no.
So what's this post-breakup, obviously?
Yes, so the famous line is, the only thing you done was yesterday.
That's a bit nasty.
Cutting.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, within the Beatles, I think that
There were better drummers than Ringo.
yeah. I think that John Lennon was, the edgier kind of musician,
Yeah.
maybe. But I think that Paul McCartney is given a bit of a bad rap because he's just been around for so long. He's still alive to. That's it. When you cough, will you cough into the microphone?
Too long.
I think that Paul McCartney is a victim of his longevity, in as much
Right.
as he's been around for, since 1961, 2 or whatever it is, and all the others have died, and so he's the only one around still, really, to
Including Ringo.
yeah, who's around to kind of take up the criticism. Like Helter Skelter, I think, was that the first ever kind of metal song, really? You listen to that, he's screaming, that's a really, really heavy song. Anything, you can put that up against Hendrix and against, Deep Purple, whoever it was at the time, that would have been.
Yeah.
And, I think he was maybe a bit more inventive than John Lennon.
I like Paul McCartney's songwriting. It's I'm not listening to it because it's interesting. I'm not looking for an exploration in music, but I just think as a
But then,
pop
he
song
did, he's done a lot of tripe as well, which you're going to do over the course of 50, 60
over
years.
that time, yeah.
Pipes a piece and, frog chorus and all that.
Still, big Vox artist.
Big Vox artist. Yeah.
Number 2, Pink Floyd, Shine On You Crazy Diamond,
Right.
which is about Sid Barrett.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was pretty gone by then, wasn't he?
He spookily turned up during the recording in 75. They weren't expecting him. Overweight and shaven-headed.
Wonder, who give him access. There's obviously no door security or anything to the.
probably not.
Yeah, you try getting in Abbey Road, and it's you met by 2 burly men asking for ID.
Number 1, Carly Simon, You're So Vain.
Ah,
The most famous, probably. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
About whom though? Because she's told one person, and that person is sworn to secrecy. It was some kind of auction. I read. Is that right?
You just reminded me, yeah. It was, yeah.
There was an auction whereby she told the person who it was about, and it's allegedly about Warren Beatty.
Yeah, so the speculation is it could be about David Bowie, David Cassidy, Cat Stevens, but most famously Warren Beatty.
And also John Taylor, I've been told.
Yeah, I've heard the John Taylor name be brought into it.
She gets around a bit.
She does a bit. And she used to suffer from horrendous stage fright.
In 2007, Warren Beatty said, "Let's be honest, the song is about me."
Which is the vaguest kind of
Yeah,
comment you
exactly.
could, yeah.
Thumbs top 5.
Dub dub boy.
Dump the five.
Yay!
Social media comment of the week.
So we got social media comment of the week. It's from Mark Slade. And he says,
I was there Wednesday, 11 a.m. arrival, 5 p.m. exit. LOL, awesome place, and Andrew Morgan, such a great guy.
I'm embarrassed.
Got to take a compliment.
I can't take compliments, but reluctantly, thank you. I accept it.
He speaks the truth.
Social media comment of the week.
So that wraps up episode 14. And I'd like to say thank you, Matt from Korg, for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget, you can get tickets for the Jared James Nichols event with Black Star. That's at the end of this month, 31st. Available on our website and in store.
It's £3 a ticket, but that is just to guarantee numbers, really. So when you come along, if you've been one of these events before, you get free. We put on drinks and
pop and crisps,
all that kind of pop and crisps,
Beverages,
a beer if you can find somebody to drive, and it's also a raffle entry for a Black Star fly.
Yes.
So well worth the ticket price.
Yeah.
And they're available online. You can come into the shop. Don't pay shipping charge.
No.
Thank you for listening. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify,
Instagram, Twitter, all of them.
Yeah.
All of the platforms, darling.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.